Okay, I'm only gonna film this once, so if you can't see my forehead, sorry. But also, it's not that great of a sight to look at, so you're welcome in advance. Hi, good morning. I'm Jackson. You probably already know that if you're watching this. But I... Hi, I'm Jackson. You probably already know that if you're watching this. And on December 31st of 2018, I decided to delete all of my social media. I deleted Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, my LinkedIn account. I never even checked that. Today is the year ago that I deleted it. And I had a few conversations this week with a couple friends as I was coming back to the end of the year about my experience, what I thought, what I had learned. And I wanted to kind of make this for myself, just to kind of verbally process everything that I learned. Also, if anyone else had been thinking about it or just wondering what the experience was like, I'm just gonna briefly talk about what went into me deleting all my social media and then what I've learned over the last 12 months. If you want to, keep watching. If not, that's chill. You can go about the rest of your probably lovely New Year's. So in the last year, kind of crazy. You may have noticed though, I was on social media a few months back because my card got stolen, and update, it was returned. Also update, it burned to the ground. That's a completely different story. But I decided a year ago on the December 31st to delete all the social media. And I did that because it got to just be really toxic. I was just spending way too much time on it. I was not getting anything accomplished, and I wanted to become more productive in the new year. So I decided to remove that distraction. And also it was toxic because I was dealing a lot with what is called FOMO, or fear of missing out. And that's kind of the idea of you don't commit to anything because there might be something better that pops up, but then you end up not doing anything because you don't make plans with anyone, and then you see the plans that you could have been doing, and then you get petty and salty about it because all these people are having fun without you, but you didn't commit to that in the first place. So really the only person that you can be upset with is yourself. And so that was something that on social media I'd see people doing stuff, and I'm like, oh man, I wish I could have been there. But then it was like, well, that was my own fault that I decided to turn down that invitation. So I decided to just quit cold turkey and deleted all the apps on December 31st. Just thought I'd see what happened. To be honest, the first couple months were pretty hard. I just was used to my hand would normally, when I unlocked my phone, would always just swipe to go to Instagram in the morning. Or when I was bored, I would usually go to Facebook and scroll through my time feed. And so it was just hard to when I opened, I was like, oh shoot, that app's not there. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of sit here. And there was some times where I just sat and I was like, well, what do I do now? I ended up then finally being able to get into a rhythm of replacing that time with doing something productive. I would either check emails or look up some articles online about something that actually mattered. Not that people's lives don't matter, but I'm gonna get to that. I was replacing that time with doing something actually productive. It just made me think what else am I missing by not being present with the reality that I live in, not just the reality that we create through social media. Probably by month 3 or 4, it got fine. I was feeling more productive. I really wasn't missing as much. But what I noticed is that I wasn't hearing from people as much. I remember thinking maybe in month 4 or 5, I'm I wonder how this person's doing, or I haven't heard from this person in a while. And I did receive a few texts that were hey, are you alive? And I was like, what are you talking about? We haven't seen you post anything on Instagram. I'm like, oh yeah, I deleted all the apps. Because I didn't do an announcement. I wasn't that, oh my gosh, I'm going on this journey, and if you want to get a hold of me, text me. I didn't do that. I didn't want to make it a big thing. I just decided to silently delete it. The people who are my closest best friends, I think they probably knew. I probably told them, but I didn't make a big deal about it because especially if I wasn't going to be able to stick to it, if I ended up falling back. I didn't want to people be like, hey, remember that time you said you're gonna quit social media for a year and you didn't? By like month 6 and 7 and 8, probably like heading into the summertime, it was like, okay, I'd heard from almost probably less than maybe 25% to like 40% of the people I actually interacted with on social media on a daily basis. And that's kind of when I started to learn the lesson. And I think the biggest thing that I took away from it is that we are not as connected, or at least I don't want to say we, I don't want to put that on everyone, but I was not as connected to the people that I interacted with on social media that I thought I was. And that's not a bad thing. And I don't mean that as like a stab or anything, but I just got to the point where I realized like there's some people that I wouldn't like interact with, be connected with, had we not replied to each other's stories once a week on Instagram, or wouldn't like or comment on each other's posts. And I don't think that's a bad thing, because I don't think that we're like, I'm no sociologist, and hear me out on this, but I don't think we're hardwired to maintain that many close relationships, or the relationships that we think are close, at a time. I think that when we have social media and we have like these hundreds of people who we're interacting with on an almost daily basis, we feel like super connected and attached to them, especially like when you're talking in each other's DMs, or you're liking or commenting or all this stuff. And you feel like you're super close to these people. You feel like you're really in their lives, and you see that with like vloggers on YouTube. Like you watch these people and you think like, oh my gosh, like I'm literally your best friend. Like you don't know this, but like we're best friends. Being away from all that for a year made me realize like I'm not close to all these people, and not in a way that's like with my closest friends. Like I am with them. They've like walked through some like really dark stuff with me. They've celebrated with like the really great stuff with me this year, and I've been able to celebrate with them and be with them. And so it has made me realize that like, and I'm probably rambling, talking in tangents and in circles, social media for me has made me realize that it's okay to have a very small group of people that you're very well connected to, and it's okay to have people that you are connected to that you're not very close to. It was hard for me to distinguish those two on social media. I thought I was very close to every single person. My perspective has kind of changed going back into it. Social media is, I think, a great way to connect with people. It's a great way to like share your life. But I also think that social media is for me. It's not for the people who are following me, or the people who are on my friends list, or the people who decide to view whatever it is that I create. But it's an avenue for me to express like the fun, creative side of what I enjoy. I think social media is great for connection, but what it's become is like this house of comparison, where we are less just connected to each other and seeing each other's lives and stuff, and now we're comparing each other to our lives. And in doing so, we want to create our life into something that someone else compares to. And we may do that, at least when I did it, I may have done that like inadvertently and without thinking about it. I don't want to get to that point where I'm comparing myself and the things that I do to the other people around me. And I want to use social media as like just a fun place of a hobby, like a place for a place for me to like share my life, almost like a live journal or a interactive journal, where I can go back and see all these cool moments in my life that I have documented, be able to like share that forever, and be able to like look down the road at all of like, oh my gosh, all this cool stuff that I did, or these like fun things that I like that may be stupid to post or whatever, but for me it was in the moment, it was kind of neat. That is really the main reason, and kind of what I learned, and there's probably more that I'm forgetting. Hope that helped. If it didn't, sorry for wasting 10 minutes of your life. Have a great morning.